The sun was slowly setting over the ocean in Victoria Island, Lagos, painting the sky with soft orange and pink colors. The luxurious beachside villa was filled with light, laughter, and music. White flowers covered the entrance, golden ribbons hung from every pillar, and crystal chandeliers sparkled above the guests. Everything looked like a dream. People kept taking pictures, whispering to each other about how beautiful the place was. Many said they had never seen a wedding this perfect before. Amara Chaik stood at the center of it all, glowing in her designer wedding dress. The dress flowed like water around her feet, shining softly in the evening light. Her makeup was gentle and natural, showing her bright smile and happy eye. At only 25, she felt like the luckiest woman in the world. As she walked toward Kelechi Obinna, her heart beat fast, not from fear, but from excitement and love. Kelechi waited for her in a sharp black suit, smiling proudly. When their eyes met, Amara felt her worries disappear. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Not the long months of planning, not the stress, not the sleepless nights. All she saw was the man she believed would love her forever. Their families watched with tears in their eyes. Friends clapped, laughed, and recorded every second on their phone. The gentle sound of waves mixed with soft romantic music in the background. When they exchanged vows, Amara's voice trembled with emotion. She meant every word. As the sun finally dipped into the sea, the sky turned golden. Fireworks lit up the air. Guests cheered. Amara held Kelechi's hand tightly and whispered to herself, "This is my happily ever after." In her heart, she truly believed her life was now complete. The reception began with loud music, laughter, and joyful cheers. Guests filled the open hall, dancing, eating, and taking endless pictures. Waiters moved around with trays of drinks, and the smell of delicious food floated in the air. Everywhere Amara looked, people were smiling. Her wedding felt like a fairy tale come true. She sat beside Kelechi on the decorated stage, waving at friends and thanking relatives who came to bless them. At first, everything felt perfect. Kelechi laughed, joked, and posed for photos like a loving husband. But after some time, Amara noticed something small that made her pause. He kept checking his phone. Again and again, it lit up in his hand. Sometimes he would turn slightly away from her and whisper into it. Sometimes he would walk a few steps aside, talk quietly, then return with a forced smile. Maybe it's work, Amara told herself, or friends sending congratulations. She didn't want to think badly. It was their wedding night. This was supposed to be happy. Still, her eyes followed him without her realizing it. She noticed that whenever he thought no one was watching, he became serious. His shoulders became tense. His smile disappeared for a moment. Once, while everyone was busy dancing, Kelechi quietly walked toward the hallway near the private office where important documents and valuables were kept. He looked around, then went inside briefly before coming back out like nothing happened. Nearby, 2 security officers stood quietly, pretending to be relaxed. They were hired by Amara's family to keep everything safe. While chatting casually, they kept an eye on the surroundings. One of them noticed Kelechi's movements. He subtly adjusted a small body camera and made a mental note of the time. Another guard glanced at his tablet, recording small details without drawing attention. Amara didn't see any of this. She was too busy greeting guests, laughing with her cousins, and taking selfies with her friends. When she noticed Kelechi texting again, she gently touched his arm and smiled. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. "Yes, my love," he replied quickly. "Just handling something small." "Don't worry." His voice sounded normal. His smile looked real. So she believed him. Deep inside, a tiny uncomfortable feeling tried to rise in her chest. Something felt off, but she pushed it away. "This is our night," she told herself. "Nothing can go wrong." She stood up, pulled Kelechi to the dance floor, and laughed loudly as the music played. For now, she chose happiness over doubt, unaware that the perfect night was already beginning to crack. Months before the wedding, long before the flowers, music, and smiling pictures, Kelechi's life was already falling apart in silence. Late at night, in a small apartment in Lagos, he would sit alone on his bed, staring at his phone with tired eyes. The screen often showed missed calls from unknown international numbers. Sometimes, messages came in strange formats, short and cold. "Your time is running out. Payment is overdue. Don't make us come for you." Kelechi owed $500,000 to an offshore investor based in Accra, Ghana. It started as a smart business idea. He had wanted to grow fast, live big, and impress people. Someone promised him quick profits through foreign investments and hidden accounts. At first, it worked. Money came in. He bought expensive clothes, drove nice cars, and lived like a rising star. Then everything crashed. The deals failed. The money disappeared. The investor didn't. Every month, the pressure grew. Calls became threats. Friendly messages turned dark. Kelechi stopped sleeping well. He started drinking more. He smiled in public but worried in private. He knew he couldn't pay the debt. Not with his salary. Not with his savings. not even if he sold everything he owned. That was when Amara entered his life more deeply. He already knew her family was powerful. Her father had business connections across West Africa. Her uncles owned properties. Her mother managed trusts and investments. Amara herself came from comfort and security. She never showed off, but everyone knew her background was strong. At first, Kelechi truly liked her. She was kind. She trusted easily. She believed in people. Being with her made him feel calm. But slowly, another thought entered his mind. What if marrying her is my way out? He hated himself for thinking it, at least at first. Then he began to justify it. I will be her husband. We will share everything. It's not stealing. It's family. I'll pay the debt first. Later, I'll fix everything. She won't even notice. Each excuse made him feel less guilty. He started paying more attention to her family matter. He asked innocent-looking questions about investments, accounts, and properties. He listened carefully when her father spoke about money. He memorized names of lawyers and managers. Amara thought he was just being responsible. She thought he was planning their future. She didn't know he was planning his escape. While she dreamed of love, home, and happiness, Kelechi secretly dreamed of numbers, transfers, and freedom. To him, the wedding was no longer just about love. It was his last chance to survive. As the night grew darker, the wedding reception became even more lively. Colorful lights reflected on the ocean. Music grew louder. Guests filled the dance floor, laughing and celebrating. The gift table stood near one corner of the hall, covered with beautiful boxes, envelopes, and wrapped packages from friends, family, and business partners. It sparkled almost as much as Amara's smile. Amara walked around greeting guests when she noticed two people standing near the gift table. She paused. They didn't look familiar. One was a tall man in a dark jacket, even though the weather was warm. The other was a woman with sharp eyes and heavy makeup, holding her phone tightly. They weren't laughing. They weren't taking pictures. They weren't talking to anyone. They just stood there, watching. Her heart skipped a little. She smiled politely at them as she passed, waiting for them to smile back. They didn't. Instead, they whispered to each other. Amara felt a strange feeling in her chest. A soft warning, like her mind quietly saying, something isn't right. She shook her head. Relax, she told herself. Not everyone has to be familiar. But she kept noticing them. A few minutes later, she saw Kelechi walking toward them. He looked around first, then leaned closer and spoke in a low voice. His face was serious now. No jokes. No smiles. He pointed lightly toward the hallway and then toward the gift table. The woman nodded quickly. The man adjusted his jacket. Amara watched from a distance, confused. Why was her husband giving instructions to strangers at their wedding? Before she could walk closer, her cousin pulled her into a group photo. Then her aunt hugged her. Then her friends dragged her to the dance floor. The moment passed. High above, hidden in corners and ceilings, security cameras quietly recorded everything. They captured Kelechi's nervous glances, his whispered words, the stranger's careful movements. Every small detail was saved without anyone noticing. Amara didn't know any of this. She only felt a growing discomfort she couldn't explain. Later, while dancing with Kelechi, she tried to read his face. He smiled. He spun her around. He laughed when she laughed. From the outside, they looked like the happiest couple in Lagos. But in her heart, questions kept forming. Who were those people? Why did he talk to them like that? Why do I feel uneasy? She pushed the thoughts away. Tonight was about love, about joy, about new beginnings. So she held her husband close, danced under the lights, and chose to believe in the moment, unaware that quiet danger was standing just a few steps away. After the guests slowly began to leave, and the music became soft and distant, Amara and Kelechi were guided to their bridal suite. The hallway was quiet now, far from the noise and lights of the reception. When the door opened, Amara stopped for a moment, amazed. The room looked like something from a movie. Soft candles glowed on every side. Red and white rose petals covered the bed. Tall glass windows showed the calm ocean outside, shining under the moonlight. A small table near the window held 2 glasses of champagne and a silver tray of fruits and chocolates. Gentle music played in the background, slow and romantic. Amara smiled brightly. This is beautiful, she whispered. Kelechi smiled too. I planned it for you, he said. He walked over, pulled out a chair, and poured the champagne like he had practiced it many times. He raised his glass. To us, he said. To us, Amara replied happily. They sat close together, talking softly and laughing about funny moments from the wedding. Kelechi complimented her dress, her smile, her hair. He told her she was the most beautiful woman in the world. His words sounded perfect, maybe too perfect. It felt like he was reading from a script. Every smile came at the right time. Every hug lasted the right number of seconds. Every kiss felt planned. Not natural. Not free. Amara noticed it but didn't say anything. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he was nervous. She rested her head on his shoulder and sighed with happiness. After a while, Kelechi's tone changed. So, my love, he said casually, now that we are married, we should start thinking seriously about our future. Amara nodded. Of course. He cleared his throat. I mean investments. Savings. Your family's trust fund. Your father's company. Things like that. Amara lifted her head and looked at him. Why now? She asked gently. He laughed softly. I just want us to be secure, he said. You know, smart planning. But his eyes moved away from hers. He picked up his glass. Put it down. Picked it up again. I heard your family keeps emergency accounts, he continued. For protection. Amara felt something twist inside her. Yes, she said slowly. But that's handled by lawyers. Oh, he replied quickly. Of course. Of course. There was a pause. An awkward one. She watched his fingers tapping lightly on his knee. His smile faded for a second before returning. For the first time that night, Amara didn't feel fully relaxed. She still loved him. She still trusted him. But as she looked around the perfect room, with its candles and roses and soft music, she realized something quietly. Not everything that looked beautiful felt honest. And somewhere deep inside her heart, a small voice began to whisper, be careful. The next morning, sunlight slowly entered the villa through the wide glass windows. The ocean looked calm, and birds sang softly outside. Everything should have felt peaceful. It should have felt like the first beautiful day of married life. But something was about to change. Downstairs, near the security office, one of the villa's senior guards sat quietly in front of several screens. He had worked for Amara's family for years. He was loyal, careful, and serious about his job. That night, while reviewing the recordings, something had caught his attention. He replayed the clip again, and again. There was Kelechi, not smiling, not dancing, not greeting guests. He was standing near the private office. He looked around, checked both sides, then carefully opened the hidden safe. The guard's face tightened. This was not normal. Kelechi was not supposed to be there. He saved the clip and thought for a moment. He didn't want to cause drama on the first day of marriage, but he also couldn't ignore what he saw. So he contacted someone he trusted, Amara's closest friend, Neka. Neka was sitting in her hotel room, scrolling through wedding photos, smiling, when her phone rang. Hello, she answered. Madam, I'm sorry to disturb you, the guard said quietly, but you need to see something. Minutes later, he sent her a short video. Neka opened it. Her smile disappeared. Oh my God, she whispered. Without wasting time, she called Amara. Amara was still in her robe, brushing her hair, humming softly. When she saw Neka's name on the screen, she smiled. Good morning, she said. Neka's voice was shaky. Amara, I need you to sit down. What is it? I'm sending you something. Watch it, please. A message arrived. Amara clicked. She watched. Her breath stopped. There was Kelechi, her husband, in secret. At the safe, her hands started shaking. No, this can't be real, she whispered. She replayed it. Then again. Then again. Suddenly, memories rushed back. His late-night phone calls. The way he hid his screen. The private texts he never explained. The meetings that always happened without notice. The nervous smiles. The questions about money. Everything connected. Like broken pieces forming one painful picture. Her chest felt heavy. Her throat tightened. Tears filled her eyes, but none fell. This was supposed to be perfect, she whispered. The room that had felt magical hours ago now felt cold and empty. The flowers looked fake. The candles looked useless. The love she trusted now felt uncertain. Her fairy tale had cracks. And for the first time, Amara understood something terrifying. The man she married might not be who she thought he was. Later that afternoon, Amara sat quietly by the window in their suite, holding a cup of tea that had already gone cold. Her mind was not on the ocean, not on the birds, not on the beautiful weather. It was on the video, on the secret, on the questions that refused to leave her head. Kelechi walked in from the bathroom, humming softly, wearing a fresh shirt and a bright smile. Good morning, my beautiful wife, he said cheerfully. How did you sleep? Amara looked at him for a moment, studying his face. He looked normal, relaxed, loving, too normal. I slept fine, she replied calmly. Kelechi, can I ask you something? Of course, he said, sitting beside her. She took a slow breath. Last night, you were very busy on your phone, she said gently, and you went to the office area a few times. Is everything okay? His smile didn't fade. Instead, it grew wider. Oh, that, he laughed lightly. You know me, always overthinking. Amara raised an eyebrow slightly. I was just talking to some friends about our honeymoon, he continued quickly. They were helping me plan surprises for you. Surprises? She asked. Yes, he said confidently. Zanzibar, private beach, luxury hotel. I want everything to be perfect. She nodded slowly. And the office? She asked. He leaned back inside. My love, I was checking some documents. About our future. About investments. Your family has strong systems, and I just want to understand them better. So I can protect you. Protect you. The words sounded sweet, but something felt wrong. Amara watched his eyes. They moved too much. He avoided hers. He picked up his phone and put it down again. I worry about you, he added softly, holding her hand. I don't want anyone to ever cheat you. Even family. Her heart tightened. Was he trying to sound like her hero? Thank you, she said quietly. Inside, she was screaming. If you have nothing to hide, why are you lying? She didn't argue. She didn't accuse him. She didn't show anger. Instead, she smiled. That's very thoughtful of you, she said. Kelechi relaxed. He thought he had won. But Amara had already made a decision. She would not fight with emotions. She would fight with truth. She would watch. She would listen. She would collect every detail, every message, every move, every mistake. And when the time came, she would not cry. She would act. That night, while Kelechi was in the shower, humming softly as if nothing in the world was wrong, Amara sat alone on the edge of the bed with her laptop open. Her hands were calm, but her heart was racing. She had been waiting all day, waiting for proof, waiting for truth. Her phone vibrated. It was an email from Neka. Subject: you need to see this. All of it. Amara's breath caught. She clicked. Several video files appeared. Her fingers hesitated for 1 second. Then she pressed play. The first clip showed the reception hall from above. Guests were dancing. Music was loud. Everyone was distracted. In the corner of the screen, Kelechi stood near the gift table, pretending to laugh with friends. But when no one was looking, he slipped away quietly. The next clip followed him down the hallway. He stopped near the private office, looked left, looked right, pulled out his phone, typed quickly. Then the door opened. Inside, he met the two strangers. The same ones Amara had noticed earlier. Her stomach tightened. They spoke in low voices. One of them handed him a small device. Another showed him something on a tablet. Kelechi nodded again and again, his face serious and focused. Then came another clip. He was inside the office, standing in front of the safe. He entered a code, opened it, took out documents, account details, transfer forms, her father's trust information. Amara covered her mouth. No, she whispered. The next video was worse. Kelechi was on the phone. His voice was clear. I'll move the money tonight, he said. While everyone is busy, it will look normal. A pause. Yes, to my personal account first. Then offshore. Another pause. After the honeymoon, I'm gone. Amara froze. Gone. The final clip played. Kelechi laughed quietly into the phone. I'll tell her there's a problem with her passport. Or the hotel. Something. She'll be stuck. I'll already be in Europe. Her vision blurred. Tears filled her eyes. Her hands trembled. The man she trusted, the man she married, had planned everything. The wedding, the distraction, the theft, the escape, even her abandonment. She felt sick. Every smile he gave her, every I love you, every promise. It was all fake. In the bathroom, the shower was still running. Kelechi was still singing, still pretending. Amara slowly closed the laptop. Her face became calm. But inside, her heart had broken into 1,000 pieces. This was no misunderstanding. No mistake. This was betrayal. Cold, planned, cruel. And now she knew everything. Amara did not cry in front of anyone. That night, after watching all the videos, she wiped her tears, washed her face, and looked at herself in the mirror. Her eyes were red, but her expression was steady. In that moment, she made a promise to herself. I will not let him destroy me. She became quiet, normal, smiling again. For the next 2 days, she acted like nothing had changed. She laughed at Kelechi's jokes. She held his hand. She talked excitedly about their honeymoon. She even thanked him for caring so much about their future. Kelechi relaxed. He thought he was winning. Late at night, she secretly called her family lawyer. Uncle Tund, she whispered, I need your help. And I need it fast. She sent him the videos. Minutes later, he called back. Amara, he said seriously, you just saved yourself. With his help, she quietly placed legal protection on all family accounts. Emergency locks. Extra passwords. Court-backed restrictions. Nothing could move without her direct approval. Then she waited. She watched. She let Kelechi complete his plan. One evening, he sat beside her, smiling proudly. It's done, he said softly. Our future is secured. She smiled back. Yes, she replied. It is. That same night, with one click, the lawyer canceled every transfer. Every hidden account was frozen. Every document Kelechi touched was marked as fraud. Then Amara made another call. To the investors. Calmly, she sent them the footage. And a message. He planned to use stolen money. You were his next victims. By morning, Kelechi's phone was full of missed calls. Angry ones. Threatening ones. But he didn't know yet. 2 days later, he arranged a romantic surprise. He asked the villa staff to gather close family and friends in the main hall. He walked in wearing a white suit, holding red roses, smiling like a movie hero. Amara, he called loudly. My love. She stood near the stage, calm and confident. Behind her, large screens suddenly turned on. The room went silent. Videos began to play. Kalechi near the safe. Kalechi whispering. Kalechi planning. Kalechi confessing. Gasps filled the hall. Oh my God! Is that him? Impossible. Kalechi dropped the flowers. His face turned white. Amara, please, he whispered. She stepped forward. You planned my humiliation, she said quietly. So I chose your truth. Security moved closer. His family looked away. Her family stood tall. In that moment, Amara was no longer a victim. She was in control. And everyone knew it. The hall was silent after the videos ended. No one spoke. No one moved. Kalechi stood in the middle of the room, broken and exposed, unable to look at anyone. His dreams, his lies, and his plans had all fallen apart in front of everyone. Amara took a deep breath. She did not shout. She did not insult him. She did not beg. She simply turned away. With her head held high, she walked past him, past the whispers, past the shocked faces, and into the sunlight outside. Her heels clicked softly on the floor, strong and confident. Every step said one thing clearly. I choose myself. Her family followed her. Her friends surrounded her. She was not alone. In the days that followed, Amara closed that painful chapter of her life. The marriage was legally ended. The stolen money was fully recovered. Her name was cleared. And most importantly, her heart slowly began to heal. Instead of letting the pain destroy her, she used it to build something new. She took part of the recovered funds and invested in her biggest dream, her fashion startup in Dakar. For years, she had loved designing clothes, sketching styles, and imagining African fashion on the world stage. Now, she finally gave that dream her full attention. Within a year, her brand began to shine. Her designs appeared in magazines. Models wore her clothes on runways. Celebrities shared her work online. People started calling her the woman who turned heartbreak into success. But to Amara, she was simply a woman who learned her worth. She learned that love should never cost her dignity. She learned that trust must be protected. She learned that strength is quiet, not loud. One evening, standing in her bright studio, surrounded by fabrics and sketches, she smiled to herself and whispered, I dreamed of a perfect night. He planned betrayal. I turned it into my power. And this time, her happiness was real.